99% of men will never reach 12% body fat, and not because they don't want to, but because they overcomplicate the entire fat loss process. They jump from diet to diet, do random workouts, aren't consistent, and then sit there and wonder why their fat isn't going anywhere. The truth is, getting to 12% body fat doesn't require some magic solution. It requires building a set of simple habits and repeating them long enough that the fat comes off. So in this video, I'm going to reveal to you these 7 habits that will get you to 12% body fat. These are the exact habits that I personally use to lose 70 pounds of fat. So if you apply them to yourself, the scale will start to drop fast. The first habit is the simplest on the list, but it's the one that's the most overlooked, and it's drink more water. So many people confuse being thirsty with hunger. Be honest with yourself for a second. How much water do you actually drink every day? Because most people are chronically dehydrated because they don't drink enough. You should be drinking 25 milliliters times half of your body weight in pounds every single day. So if you weigh 250 pounds, for example, that's around 3 liters per day. When I started to drink more water, I noticed that my cravings came down a lot and I had more energy than I'd ever had before. Not only that, but water is involved in literally every single process your body uses to burn fat. Even the breakdown of fat cells requires water. So just drink more water. It's going to make the whole fat loss process 10 times easier. And if you're sat there right now thinking, oh, Aiden, I don't really like water, grow up. Stick a piece of lemon in it and just drink it. And by the way, before I get into the second habit, if you want my personal help so that you can lose fat, build muscle, reclaim your energy and your confidence, simply click the first link in the description and book a call with me. With that being said, the second habit is move more. And I'm not talking about doing hours of cardio. I'm simply talking about moving more. I genuinely believe the main difference between the people who are fat and the people who are lean are the amount they move. And I use myself as an example here. When I was 30% body fat and 248 pounds, I was lazy as fuck. Anywhere that was more than the 5 to 10 minute walk away, I would get an Uber or get public transport. I used to literally get the bus the long way around to the supermarket rather than walking 7 minutes down the road. I would flat out refuse to do anything that involved physical activity. Let's say my friends were going to the park or going for a walk, I would say no. And I literally used to be glued to my sofa or my desk 24/7. The difference now that I'm 12% body fat, I walk anywhere that is feasible. I don't even have the Uber app downloaded on my phone, and I do Muay Thai and sports regularly. To make this change for yourself, the first step is committing yourself to 10,000 steps a day. And I mean really committing yourself. It genuinely is not that hard if you break it up throughout the day. And speaking from personal experience, it's something that genuinely makes or breaks your fat loss. Walking is the best form of cardio for fat loss because it doesn't spike your hunger, it doesn't take much energy, and you can work it into your day to the point where it doesn't even feel like added cardio. But it's not just about walking. Take pride in being a high energy person. Clean your house more often. Walk your dog more often. Take your kids to the park more often. Just move your body more. You have one body, so make use of it. The third habit, and one that I deem the most important on the list, is eat more protein. And let me be entirely blunt with you. If you do not adhere to this one, you are quite frankly wasting your time, and here's why. Firstly, protein has the highest thermic effect of any of the 3 macronutrients, meaning your body burns more calories digesting protein than with fat or carbs. Secondly, it's the building block of muscle, which means you need it if you actually want to look good. Thirdly, it keeps you full and it keeps you satisfied. Think about this. Have you ever binged on chicken breast? No? Exactly. When I look like that, my diet consisted mainly of refined carbs and snacks, takeaways, chocolate, crisps, chips, biscuits, and I was always feeling hungry because that food doesn't fill you up. When I decided to up my protein intake and eat an adequate amount of protein, suddenly my cravings went away and I felt more full than I ever had before, and that was a crazy change to me. In terms of how much protein you should actually be eating every day, 1 gram of protein per pound of your desired body weight is your target. And if possible, split that between 3 to 5 meals for optimal protein synthesis. But again, that's optimal, it's not a necessity. The easiest way to make sure you're getting enough protein throughout your day is to build each of your meals around a high source of protein. Think beef, chicken, fish, eggs, Greek yogurt, and then you can fill in the gaps with protein bars and protein shakes. Trust me, if you want to look lean, healthy, and athletic looking, you have to stick to this one. But if you're okay with looking ill, weak, and skinny fat, then completely forget I even said it. The fourth habit is having a consistent eating window, also known as intermittent fasting. When I think back to when I was fat, one of my biggest problems was snacking all day long. Anytime I passed my kitchen or a corner shop, I'd grab some biscuits, some crisps, some chocolate, maybe a fizzy drink, whatever I really felt like in that moment. And without even knowing, that was adding thousands of calories to my bottom line. And I know so many other people are like that, but by simply giving yourself a set time frame where you will consume all of your calories throughout the day, that's going to eliminate mindless snacking. Your window can be anywhere between 8 and 10 hours, but ideally it should start after or stop before the time in which you end up mindlessly snacking. Let's say you're like me and you love snacking in the evening. Your window could be something like 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. That way it literally stops you from being able to snack and mindlessly eat hundreds or thousands of calories in the evening. At first, you're going to feel insanely hungry when you do this, but within about a week, your body's going to adapt, and soon enough that hunger will go away and you'll feel way more in control of your body and your diet. This one is such a tiny tweak, but it makes all the difference. The fifth habit is one that, again, people fail to consider, and it's sleep like your life depends on it, because it literally does. When you consistently get 6 or less hours of sleep, your testosterone is going to drop, which means less fat loss, slower recovery, and zero energy or drive. On top of that, your hunger hormone ghrelin spikes, which is why when you're sleep deprived, you crave sugary foods. Your cortisol also spikes, which directly signals to your body to store more fat in your midsection, which is exactly where you don't want it. The whole "I'll sleep when I'm dead" mantra is just absolute bullshit. And so many of us men are convinced that it's the key to success and the key to everything. But listen to this. Yes, if you get 6 hours of sleep, you have 18 hours in a day, but you're going to be tired, low energy, low drive, feel like shit. So what are you actually going to get done in those 18 hours? Compared to if you sleep 8 or even 9 hours, yes, you're awake for 2 or 3 hours less, but you feel energized, you feel on top of the world, and you feel ready to conquer anything. So you're going to get so much more done, even though you're awake for less hours. I used to massively struggle with my sleep, but 3 changes that I made completely fixed it. Firstly, it was setting a consistent bedtime and a consistent wake time, because our bodies love routine. Secondly, cut caffeine 8 hours before you go to sleep. Yes, it's going to be hard at first, but caffeine creates a vicious cycle where you're getting less sleep, some more caffeine, worse sleep, more caffeine, etc. And finally, put the phone down and stop using screens 1 hour before bed. That blue light is going to wreck your sleep. Read a book, write in your journal, or do something other than scrolling on your phone or watching TV. Just trust me, if you want to lose fat and get in good shape, sleep is by far the most important thing. Habit number 6 is cutting back on or quitting alcohol entirely. Now look, if you're serious about dropping pounds of fat and getting in shape, you need to realize that alcohol is one of the biggest anchors holding you down. I know this for a fact myself, because I used to be the typical guy. A couple of nights a week, 2 or 3 pints, and then once or twice a month getting completely shit-faced. And that's completely normal in the Western world, but listen to this. A pint of beer contains 200 to 300 calories, and a couple of glasses of wine is close to 500 calories. And then you add up the pizza or the kebab on the way home, and that's thousands of extra calories every week. But it isn't just about the calories. Alcohol completely wrecks your sleep, and we just discussed how important sleep is to this. That means slower recovery, more cravings, less energy, and increased fat storage around your midsection, meaning your belly and your love handles. Look, when you're 20, 25, you can get away with it, but when you're approaching 30, 40, 50, 60, even one single pint is going to have an impact on your waistline. Now, I'm not saying never drink again, but if you actually want to see results, you need to cut back or completely quit for the next few months. Personally, I've had just 2 glasses of wine in the last 9 months, and I can honestly say it's one of the best decisions I've ever made. Now, the 7th habit, and also my favorite habit, is regular weight training, and this is absolutely essential. Listen, I had a guy come to me a couple of weeks ago, and he said to me, "Aiden, look, I've lost 50 pounds in the last 6 months, but I feel like shit. I look the same, I'm just like a smaller version of myself. My belly's still big, and my arms look like sticks." So straight away I asked him, "Have you been weight training?" And as expected, he said no. You see, the thing is, if you're in a calorie deficit but you are not weight training, your body is going to burn both fat and muscle, because your body sees no reason to keep the muscle, so it uses it as fuel. Whereas if you're regularly weight training, your body says, "Hold on a second, we need this stuff." And it uses just fat for fuel instead. And that is how you're going to change your body, by losing fat and maintaining or even building muscle mass. And look, as I always say, do not try and do overcomplicated workouts. 16 sets for your big muscle groups and 8 sets for your small muscle groups per week, split across 3 to 4 sessions, is more than enough. And if you're just starting out, focus on getting good at compound movements like presses, rows, and squats before adding in more isolation heavy movements. Your main focus always should be be progressive overload. So let's say you do 8 reps of one weight this week. Next week you're going to do 9. The week after that you're going to do 10. All the way up until you get to 12, and then you're going to up the weight. That is how you consistently build muscle. Weight training is the only way you're ever going to build a lean, athletic, and powerful physique. If you skip this step, you're going to end up as a small, weak, soft, skinny fat version of your current self. And just remember, you do not have to be perfect every single day. Be consistent 80% of the time and commit yourself to these habits, and you will lose fat and you will eventually get to 12% body fat. Just chase small improvements every single day and compete with the you of yesterday, because that's all that truly matters. And look, if you want someone in your corner who's gone through this exact journey and you want me to guide you through this whole process so you can lose fat, build muscle, and reclaim your energy and your confidence, simply click the first link in the description and book a call with me. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.